This is the Nation's Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. One of the things that we're seeing coming out of the LA fires is they are clearly, deliberately trying to make the Democrats and Gavin Newsom look like incompetent fools. Now, of course, the majority of people see this stuff and they think that it's naturally occurring, but you have to pull yourself out of the left-right paradigm. They're doing this stuff strategically. These people are not tone deaf. They know how this will look, how this will come across when they actually go out and do these things, right? So Gavin Newsom, while this fire is raging in Los Angeles, is doing interviews literally in front of burning homes and talking about, well, how the people are going to have to figure out how to get water and how the people are going to have to figure this out, or pretty much just looking like a fool, making people irate. And what you're starting to see is Democrat, lib California starting to beg for Donald Trump. All these influencers talking about how LA needs Trump more than ever. Donald Trump putting out tweets on True Social like Governor Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtual apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is to blame for this on top of it all. No water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. And of course, this is all of them working together to sabotage the entire infrastructure that's in place. I've been talking about it for years now. So by that, what I mean is that Donald Trump has now been put in charge. Donald Trump is going to come in as this hero, as the savior. I mean, we're starting to look at what could potentially be a United States of America dictatorship under Donald Trump. And people will think, well, that's wonderful and that's great. But the dictatorship under Xi Jinping in China, you can't go to the bathroom without Big Brother knowing what you're doing. They're under full surveillance. They are fully monitored and tracked. Free speech does not exist. And you might look at that because you have conservative ideologies as a Christian and Trump is pretending to be a Christian. But that's not going to work for you in the future because we're going to start seeing mass censorship of any anti-Trump rhetoric. You can guarantee it that people like me and you will start getting censored just for speaking out against it, just like we spoke out against Biden. You're going to have to be on board with this. But Trump is looking like he's going to swoop in as the savior here. And I have to show you these news clips now from Gavin Newsom. Anyone out there that thinks that this is legitimately happening in real time, like Gavin Newsom in the clip I'll show you, is wandering around the streets, pulled out of his SUV, trying to call Joe Biden on the phone. I kid you not. A woman runs up to Newsom standing on the side of his car. He's pretending to call Joe Biden. He's claiming that he doesn't have service. The woman is claiming there's fresh water running over there. Can't we go and get it? And he's talking to her using mannerisms with his hands, almost as if he's giving a speech out on national television because it's staged. And when I say staged, it doesn't mean that the fires aren't real. It doesn't mean that people aren't dying, that their homes aren't burning. What it means is that they knew that this was coming all along. Newsom knew it was coming. Trump knew it was coming. All of these global leaders knew that it was coming. And now they're acting the role. He's out deliberately acting like a fool, literally standing in front of a burning home. Anybody, out there that sees that, they get enraged. Look at him. He's standing there. He's doing interviews with CNN while him and Anderson Cooper are in front of a burning home. Their first thought isn't, wow, this could be dangerous. This fire could spread. Maybe we should help put out the fires. No, their first thought is, let's go live on national TV and do an interview. And of course, how do you think Newsom thinks he's going to come across when he's standing in front of a burning home? You tell me that they don't even have the smallest amount of self-awareness to say, hey, wait a minute, there's a home burning behind me. I'm not going to let you roll cameras on national television on CNN while I stand in front of a burning home with my hair perfectly combed, talking to you with hand mannerisms, acting completely calm while homes around me are burning. They know exactly how it looks, and that's why they're doing it, because they want you to react the way that you're reacting. Look at these clips, and nobody could tell me that Newsom didn't know ahead of time and that he's not wandering the streets knowing that people like this woman who has people holding microphones around her, while there's no other civilians around, they've all been evacuated, just the people who are allowed in the area. Remember in Lahaina, they weren't letting anyone stay in there even if they wanted to. Even if they wanted to look for loved ones, they wanted to look for pets. They were forced out. So somehow this woman is in the area, some random civilian, we're told, who has microphones near her, who sounds like clearly an actor or somebody who, knows exactly what to say to Gavin Newsom so that he could look like just a complete buffoon on global television, because this aired in Sky News Australia. Take a look at this.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in the Palisades ran out last night in the hydrants. I found the firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry. Especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
It's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
So you can't look at those and actually think for a second that he didn't know that they were coming, because that's somebody who's acting as if he's in the middle of a crisis, right? If you were in the middle of a crisis and all this stuff was happening around you, you'd be running around. You wouldn't be worrying about having your hair combed and your glasses on. You would literally be doing everything you could to help. And if you were a governor and you weren't, bought and paid for, or an actor, I should say, then you would be doing things to help the civilians. So this is obviously something they knew about beforehand. They were told how to act after it, right? Trump's tweeting out. You see the celebrities still playing into the left-right paradigm while all this occurs, right? James Woods going on Fox News and talking about Newsom is a bumbling fool. Adam Carolla, if anyone out there thinks that he's a conservative, that guy could be more bought and paid for. Bagelville 101. He's going out there talking about Newsom. Democrats have done this. Democrats are responsible, right? And now all of a sudden you have the conservatives begging for Donald Trump to do something about it because they're starting to become angry and they're starting to herd everybody towards Donald Trump. And that seems to be what the plan has been all along, because the media, once Donald Trump was put in power, has flipped the switch. They're no longer bashing Donald Trump. They're supporting Donald Trump, or at least trying to pretend like they're neutral. Instead of talking about throwing him in jail, can we still get him in jail? Can we get a recount? Is this actually, did Russia interfere? They don't hear anything about it because, one, it tells you it was a part of the plan, and two, now they need to convince the Democrats out there into following and idolizing Donald Trump as well as being this savior. And part of this is going to have to do with the AI governance and the infrastructure changes that are coming. That's really what it's all about. So here's another clip that, if you haven't seen it, I'll play for you right now. This is actually something that's out there as well. If this doesn't show you that this was, how do you word this? Let me play it for you right now. It's hard to it's hard to put this into words. These are firefighters who are filling up purses with water and running over to a dumpster that is on fire. Now, the whole place is on fire, right? All these homes are on fire. They're running over to a dumpster that clearly seems like an isolated small fire in a dumpster. Now, people out there will be like, well, maybe it's going to spread from the dumpster, and they're trying to, first of all, why are they using purses? Well, they're trying to make you look at this and say, this is how ridiculous these Democrat states have gotten. This is how ridiculous California's gotten. The hoses don't work. The fire hydrants aren't filled. You have firefighters running around and putting water in purses to put out fires. I mean, this right here, what you're seeing is a deliberately staged scene. So yes, they wiped it out. Yes, they burned it to the ground. And now you're seeing these actors and celebrities come out, talk about how their homes burned, play into the left, right. And all of them are in the area, right? There's celebrities who are by their burning homes, which I'll cover in separate videos, where they're talking about, they're putting on the crisis act, where they're talking about their homes and their memories burned to the ground. Right, Gavin Newsom is walking around the streets just waiting to be interviewed while these homes are burning, because they're deliberately trying to stage the scene here as if this is a Democratic catastrophe. And they've been doing this for years. The homeless people on the streets. Right? We hear the rumors. They want people to believe that, the fires were started because the homeless people and the drugs in the streets, and Gavin Newsom gave tax money to the drug addicts to let them continue to smoke on the streets. And then they throw their drug paraphernalia in the bushes and it's still on fire, catches fire. Those are the narratives that they want out there. They want these narratives there. That's the point of what I'm getting at. They want this out there. If they didn't want it out there, number one, it wouldn't be out there. Number two, Gavin Newsom would be nowhere to be found. The only time you'd be seeing Gavin Newsom speak would be in front of a podium where he has a planned, prepared speech, right? Where he's standing in front of a podium. Here's what he says. Here's what has to get done, right? Wouldn't be out there walking around saying, I can't get cell service. We're going to do what we can. I'm trying to get federal funding in. Federal funding is what they're thinking about while these homes are burning right behind his back, where he could, get water to put the fires out to stop it from spread. I mean, they knew that this was coming 100%. This has been part of the plan. And again, the smart LA is what it's all about, right? They're going to start putting in the infrastructures. And I expect this in many more Democratic cities in the future to make Democrats beg for concerns. I would not be surprised if the next one is New York City. I think it's very clear. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a fire. Could very potentially be, there's a lot of predictive programming that shows us either an earthquake, a man-made earthquake, or some type of tsunami off the coast that could take out and devastate that area as well. Or it could be a fire. I mean, people will believe wildfires can start in cities at this point. They'll believe that Sharknadoes can exist. They're believing whatever they're told from the media. They change the science every day. They make all these things up as they go, and they see that everybody believes it, that they could just throw crap against the wall and it sticks, right? These things are sticking in their minds. They're making it up, and they believe it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the plan going forward is to start seeing these Democratic cities, because that's where they had planned to put in this infrastructure, in the Democrat cities first. So New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, right? Because number one, those are the biggest cities. I mean, Los Angeles, New York, these are destination points, right? They want to turn those into smart cities. But just because Democrats are clueless and they be on board with smart cities and all that stuff doesn't mean that they're able to put it in place. Because like I said in previous videos, small business owners, if they go to them and say, look, we need to demolish your building and put up a new one, they're not going to do that and then give the small business owner their business and then build them a new building with this, this control grid that they're setting up, which is what these smart cities are. It's a control grid to monitor and track every movement you make, right? So say hypothetically, you're a small pizza parlor in New York City, okay? They're not going to go there and say, hey, we need to change your whole building because we need it to be able to track movements of 5G, infrared, all this other stuff. The guy would be like, I don't want that. And even if the guy did, they're not going to tear it down and build it and then give him his business back. This is a corporation. I mean, Amazon's going to take over the land, or another corporation is going to take over the land. They're going to move all the small businesses out. But the only way you're going to do that is what they're doing in California right now and in Lahaina. People aren't going to just willingly give up their business, give up their land. They have to seize it. So how else do you seize it? You take the insurance away, and even if you don't, you just burn it down. And then the government has the right to come in and seize the land. And that's what we're seeing happen. So this looks like the blueprint going forward for Democratic cities. They have the buffoons put in place in all the Democratic cities and states, right? I mean, Hochul in New York couldn't be, it's number 2 on the buffoonery list. Possibly Michigan on that list, right? That buffoon in Michigan. I mean, they're all lined up, right? And then you see how they've been acting out in public, and you go, how could anybody vote for these people? Who cares what their ideology is? How could anyone vote for Joe Biden? How could anybody vote for Gavin Newsom, right? They've all been doing this deliberately. They've been acting the part. And now, while these tragic things are happening, none of them are showing leadership. None of them are showing that they care. They're out there doing the same exact thing. And that's done by design. You don't think somebody would have tapped Gavin Newsom on the shoulder and said, hey, you shouldn't be out there, with your glasses, with your hair slick, walking around with your collar popped, standing in front of burning buildings. He doesn't have a PR guy. I mean, I'm not a PR guy. I have common sense, logic, and as do all the people who listen to this channel. Nobody out there is thinking to tell Gavin, hey, this isn't a good look, right? Anderson Cooper on Liberal News doesn't want to say, hey, we probably shouldn't interview Gavin in front of this building because we support Gavin. This is all part of their master plan. And it's looking more and more like a North American dictatorship under Donald Trump. And now the spin that you're seeing is spinning Donald Trump into a heroic figure where the Democrats will start wanting Donald Trump because they don't want their homes burned to the ground. They don't want incompetency. This is getting more and more obvious by the day, just based on how the media is covering these events, how the media is portraying Donald Trump all of a sudden. It's showing us, again, that the master plan all along has been to put Trump in place and to bring about this dictatorship. Don't forget that Donald Trump said you'll never have to vote again in 4 years. So obviously we know big things are planned. He wasn't just saying that. That wasn't a slip of the tongue. There are things that are coming. We are 10 days in to 2025. And look what we've had so far. We've had Los Angeles burned to the ground. We've had Bourbon Street, massive false flag. We've had psychological operations outside of Trump's casino with a cyber truck, super soldier, blowout, burnout, whatever you want to call it, just blowing up the truck. I mean, we're 10 days in. 10 days. He's not even in office yet. Can you imagine what more is to come? And again, the other thing too in this video to note, that clip of the firefighters doing that. You don't think those are clearly actors or people that were told, hey, here's a fire truck, right? Go fill up people's purses with water and run over and dump it on a dumpster. Are you kidding me? I mean, that was on the news. Oh my God, they don't have the hose doesn't work, so they're running around with purses. None of them are like, this is really really stupid. You got to watch what you say. Those are all hate words now. But no one's like, hey, this is really dumb. This isn't going to work. Why don't we fix the problem so we can, what? It's unbelievable. They're literally showing all this stuff by design to beg, so people beg for change. That's what it's all about. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.